These are the Sunday recommendations for my free email list for November the 1st, 2020. The blog post this week is on visiting the Wadsworth Atheneum in Hartford, Connecticut. It's the historical background of the museum. Second recommendation, Charlotte Bronte, a poem called Parting. I should have offered this when the lockdowns were in full force, but it's still a good reminder that endurance and hope are useful traits. There's no use in weeping, though we are condemned to part. There's such a thing as keeping a remembrance in one's heart. There's such a thing as dwelling on the thought ourselves have nursed, and with scorn and courage telling the world to do its worst. We'll not let its follies grieve us, we'll just take them as they come, and then every day will leave us with a merry laugh for home. When we've left each friend and brother, when we're parted wide and far, we will think of one another as even better than we are. Every glorious sight above us, every pleasant sight beneath, we'll connect with those that love us, whom we truly love till death. In the evening, when we're sitting by the fire, perchance alone, then shall heart with warm heart meeting give responsive tone for tone. We can burst the bonds which chain us, which cold human hands have wrought, and where none shall dare restrain us, we can meet again in thought. So there's no use in weeping, bear a cheerful spirit still, never doubt that fate is keeping future good for present ill. Third recommendation. This is the Zeus of Artemisium, sometimes called the Poseidon of Artemisium. He's throwing something, and it could be either a trident or a thunderbolt. This dates to around 460 to 450 BC. It is one of my absolute favorite Greek sculptures. Zeus shows a fabulous view of man because to the Greeks, gods were just larger-than-life men. The work was found in a wreck off Cape Artemisium, north of Athens, so its modern name has the happy effect of recalling the emergence of the glorious Greek classical period. At the end of the 6th century BC, mainland Greece was a collection of small city-states. Then the ruler of the Persian Empire, having expanded from modern Iran into modern Turkey, arrived with a huge army and navy intending to swallow up the Greek mainland. In 480 BC, the Persians defeated the Athenians, Spartans, and the allied Greeks on land at Thermopylae and on the sea at Artemisium. The Persians rampaged south through Attica, where, among much else, they destroyed the sculptures on the Athenian Acropolis. The Persians were finally defeated by the allied Greeks in September 480 BC at the Battle of Salamis. Throughout the 5th century BC, the Greeks frequently referred to the defeat of the Persians in their literature, art, history, and public speeches. And they didn't think of it merely as a military victory. The Greeks viewed this as the triumph of order over irrationality. The Persian ruler had absolute power, and most of his soldiers were slaves who had to be whipped into battle. In contrast, the Greeks were fighting for their freedom, for a local government in which they had some say, and for their way of thinking, independent, rational thought, rather than the dictates of religion or a tyrant. After the Persians were driven out, Sparta resumed its former isolationism, and Athens became the leader of a defensive alliance formed against future Persian attacks, as well as a cultural center for all Greeks. The confidence that the Greeks found after defeating the Persians shows in every detail of the multitude of artworks, such as this one, that were created over the following decades to replace the works destroyed by the Persians. Among those sculptures were the Parthenon. Among the works created at this period were the Parthenon, with its sculptures, and the Zeus of Artemisium. The fourth recommendation is a Terence Rattigan play that one reviewer called effervescently escapist. You'll know if you need some of that just now. DianeDuranteyWriter.com has hundreds of posts on sculpture, painting, and my many other obsessions. To join the free Sunday recommendations email list, visit the URL that's on your screen or email me. And you can say, "Well done, Diane," or support my work and receive rewards by means of the tip jar on DianeDuranteyWriter.com. Thanks as always for listening.